Well, that was weird. Back with another gateway experience video. I said that was weird because I had my phone set up and I went for a walk to the other room to get my notebook, and as I came back, it was counting down 3, 2, 1, and then it just turned itself on. I didn't do that, but I'm sure. Whatever. I'm not sure of anything anymore. Welcome back. Another gateway experience. If you followed any of my other videos, I'm astounded, and I'm grateful. And like I say in all the videos, I'm kind of doing this to keep myself honest, keep myself on track, to give myself something to be able to reflect back on. I'm finding it really fascinating to be able to go back and watch my videos and just kind of chart my own journey. I have a journal with my face on it, which is ridiculous. I have my own journal, not my own journal. Oh my gosh, focus. I have a journal that I'm writing everything down in. I'm not as diligent with my journal as I could be and should be, but I'm slowly getting myself there. I usually watch the previous video so I can remember what I talked about. I didn't do that this time, but I'm just gonna spout some stuff because there's been some interesting things happening, and I don't know. I just got to put them somewhere. So here we are. Uh, I'm on Focus 12. I don't even know what that means anymore. I'm balancing my life between having a lot of questions and also knowing that this process is something that perhaps I can just wade through as long as I'm doing it in order and I can get quiet enough and listen to myself and find my way through. Intro to Focus 12 is, one that I'm coming back to quite frequently. I don't really know what I'm looking for, but as I go through it, it's evolving, and it's evolving pretty rapidly and interestingly for me. I think for other people, the experience is just different, and I think some of that, the differentiation between what one person experiences and another, is something that I'm actually trying to distance myself from now, because I don't want to get into my head too much. Uh, I was writing with somebody online about this, and they said everything changed for them when they acknowledged that they had already done this before. It makes me laugh. I think it's a very beautiful concept and a funny concept, and one that I had never thought about. But you know, if I'm going through this process and I'm sort of seeking guidance from my higher self has already walked this journey, and so however long it takes, it takes. Whatever the discoveries are, they are. And maybe those things can change. Maybe they're transmutable. I don't know. I don't really care. It's not mine to focus on. Mine is just to show up and partake. So yeah, I've really leaned into that, and I'm trying to be a little bit more discerning about what information I'm pulling in, what questions I'm asking, when I'm asking questions, um, versus when I'm just willing to sit and see what happens. Uh, I want to talk through a couple of interesting things that have kind of transpired in the past couple days or week. Um, all within Focus 12. But what I wanted to say was that I've been on Focus 12. I've done the questions. I moved on to the patterning. I wasn't sure that I was ready to move on to the patterning. I went back to the questions. My experience with the questions so far has been silence. I know that through reading in the workbook and reading some forums from people and responses and whatnot, that the idea in the questions is that as you ask the questions with a very strong and specific intention, the answers show up. And that's great. And I think they will. And perhaps they do. I'm having an experience where, that's not what's happening for me. I'm getting a lot of nothing, but nothing's happening, like literal nothingness. Void, which I think in and of itself is interesting. And it's making me think about my dream state, which I'm going to talk about next. So I'm getting a lot of nothing, and I'm okay with that. I'm sitting in it. I'm still going in, asking the questions. I'm living with it as much as I can. I'm finding that I'm not clicking out. I'm just there, kind of floating in whatever that space is. And when it's time to come out of it, I come out of it. And I have a lot of belief and faith and a knowingness that the questions that I'm answering or that I'm asking are being answered. I just don't understand the mode of communication yet. That's okay. Um, it makes me think of my dreams, and the reason I want to put that here is because something really big has shifted. For a long time, when asked, I was not a person who remembered my dreams. Now, that's not to say that I don't think I was dreaming every night. I'm sure that I was dreaming every night. I think that everybody dreams every night, but I didn't remember them. And while I was in them, it's like sometimes, even without remembering my dreams, I might have a sense that I dreamed and then it was just gone. But for a long time, I didn't even have a sense that I dreamed. I just went to sleep and woke up. And whatever was happening between that, it was like it was redacted. It didn't exist for me. And I started doing the tapes. I don't know how long ago. I should check when the first video was. The first video was maybe a week after I started, maybe a little bit more. I can't remember. But since that time, I've started dreaming. And not only have I started dreaming, but I dream almost every night. I remember a large percentage of the dream itself and of the dreams in general. And the parts that I remember are extremely detailed. Vivid, bright colors, specificity of faces, facial expressions. I also am starting to become aware while I'm dreaming that I'm in a dream. Not in a lucid sense. I don't feel like I can change much while I'm in there yet. But I've never had the experience of being asleep dreaming and being able to acknowledge while I was dreaming that I was dreaming. Which is weird. I don't know. It's weird for me right now, but it's fascinating. And the fact that I've started dreaming has also unlocked this other thing for me, which is to say that, which is that if I close my eyes and I think of a red apple, I don't usually picture a red apple. I have like a knowingness of a red apple. Everything about the red apple sort of like fills me up and I get details around it, but I can't see it the way I see with my eyes open. Or I don't see it the way I see with my eyes open. But in the dreams, I've started to see the way I see with my eyes open. And it almost makes me think that there was like a film or a filter over whatever the mechanism is that allows me to see my dreams that I maybe like put up as a shield or as a coping mechanism when I was younger, maybe, who knows, from fear or, we do a lot of things to protect ourselves that we don't know. We are not directly in control of this in the way that, we think that we are. And so it just strikes me that it's possible that through this process, I've given myself this permission to quick interruption there. Don't remember where I was, but a filter over my dreams to sort of separate myself from them, and that veil is lifting. There was a period in the dreams, the first time this happened, where I felt myself rocking, and it almost felt like I took off flying in my dream. That was in a meditation. In a meditation, and everything snapped into color. And in the meditation, I was like, "Oh, this is crazy!" And then it disappeared. So I've had that experience in the meditation now, where I can see the red apple essentially, and I'm having the experience in the dreams. And like I said earlier, I'm just on the journey, and I'm letting the journey be whatever it is, and it's been pretty neat to track this and to see that there are changes happening. So the idea of the dreams unlocking is a pretty big one for me, and it makes sleep so exciting. And in the meditations, I've had a couple of moments where I snap into full color. In Focus 12, I've had two things happen this week that were actually pretty neat. One of them was I was in Focus 12, and it was almost like I've been writing with somebody about this idea of seeing, and I was talking about this idea of seeing in my dreams and not being able to see colors and whatnot, not being able to see in full color, and they said, oh, like they tell themselves, I'm seeing with my third eye, or I'm seeing with my mind's eye, and I've started adding that into my sort of the affirmation piece, and it's almost like I'm dreaming, or I'm not dreaming, I'm meditating, and I'm kind of like looking up slightly with my eyes closed. Anyways, the first time a thing that changed was that in this darkness, which feels black, there was an emergence of something almost like dark brown, just enough of a color difference that I could see that there was something, and I didn't know what it was, but I was watching it and it was textured. It had a pattern on it that I don't know what the pattern was, but I could just see that it wasn't the same as the space around it. And as it sort of came towards and I was able to focus on it, I just felt this incredible sense of calm. And I just like dropped into being there with it. And everything faded away. My auditory senses in my physical body, like I couldn't hear what was happening in the room or in the house or outside. Everything just like numbed to nothingness. And I was just there with this object or this shape or this thing. And I didn't click out. I could hear Bob still talking. I was just in the intro to F12. I could hear Bob still talking. And I made it all the way to the end of the tape where I heard him offering to count me back into consciousness. And I just decided not to. I was so with this thing that I wanted to be there. And so I just stayed. And when I finally decided to come out of the meditation, and nothing else happened, and it felt like a snap of the finger, but it was so peaceful and so calm and just grounding and connected to something. And when I decided to come out of the meditation and I looked at the clock, it had been 3.5 hours. Now, I've done a lot of Vipassana meditation, and so it's not a strange experience to me to be in meditation for that long, but this was different than those because I wasn't aware of time passing the way I frequently am with Vipassana. When I sit in a Vipassana meditation, I have an awareness that time still exists. And somehow with this like brown patterned shape, I just didn't. I had no knowing. Anyways, and I chose to stay there. I was aware that I chose to stay in a meditative state. And this has happened again 2-3 times, always in the intro to F12. One of the times I decided to do the Expand app's F12 on a 60-minute timer. And again, I found my brown friend and I was just there with the pattern, and we just stayed there for the hour. And there's nothing else happening, but there's a ton happening. Now, a few other things have happened that I just think are like fantastical, and also, of course, they're happening. I work as an actor, and I've watched in the time that I've been doing this meditation through the gateway process, the response that I'm getting to my work has changed drastically, almost it feels like overnight, and swung back momentum-wise into where I had been previously, like pre-pandemic. And I'm on set quite a bit. I'm getting bookings and thumbs up and high fives, which is neat. And I kind of do credit this. This is the only thing that had really changed in my life. Of course, this business is boom and bust, and there are big swings in it, but it feels different. And maybe it just feels different because I'm ascribing the experience of the meditative process to sure, mental gymnastics. I'm linking the two, but it truly does feel different. And if I'm just listening to my intuition, there's something there that's saying, yeah, like you're in flow. This is what's happening. Another interesting thing that happened 2 months ago. I work at restaurants, and I had written something on a piece of like printer paper, just scrawled it for a friend, and I took a photo of it and showed her, and she took a photo of it. We were supposed to talk about it later. It was a list that we had to build. Lost the piece of paper. We're sitting in a meeting 2 days ago, and we were talking about the piece of paper with the person that we had to show the list to, and we were like, we can't find the list, but we're going to recreate it. And he was trying to like take over and be like, I'll just make it, it's fine. And we were like, no, just stop it. Like, that's annoying. No, we're going to do it, but like, we just have to find the thing. And he wasn't trying to be difficult or anything. It was like, you're looking for a thing that you're never going to find. And he left, and we were like, we're never going to find that list. And we're like, okay. And then I kind of went, I'll find it. It'll turn up. And I left work, and I went to go pick up my kids, and I grabbed my kids, and we came home. No one had been home all day. And this is like literally 2 months ago. During that time, I had been out of town for a month working, came back, like the world has changed. And we walked into the house, and we walked to the first 3 steps, and sitting on the landing was just that piece of paper, which hadn't been there in the morning. I checked with my wife. She hadn't seen it. We would have had to have walked past that piece of paper for literally an entire month. 2 months, 1 month of which I wasn't even in town. So the three of them would have had to walk past that paper, and nobody would have to pick that piece of paper up. And it's not a cluttered landing. There's nothing else on it. So how did that piece of paper get there? I don't know. I don't even know if I care. It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to figure it out. But it's fascinating. I don't know what else to say. It was kind of a moment of magic, and I picked up a piece of paper and I knew I'd find it. And I put it in my pocket, and later on I was like, wow, yeah, well, that was neat. And I still haven't really had the interest to process it in a way to go like, what happened, and let's figure it out, because I actually don't know if I care. I just think, I don't know. I don't even know what I think. I mean, I do know what I think. I think that something about the process that I'm doing and the way that my outlook has shifted and made space for knowing that we're more than just this brought that piece of paper to me. I don't know what the end of that sentence is. It helped that moment be real in this reality for me. Skeptics, say what you want. I don't really care. I found the piece of paper and I got my list back, and that's crazy. But also, yeah, it feels like I would be selling myself short, and this process short, and my intuition, the feeling inside of me short, if I said that this was anything other than connected. It all just feels very clearly connected. I'm just going to see if I have any other notes. I think those are the big pieces. I don't know what these updates are. I'm still figuring them out myself. I'm like 5 updates in, and I keep saying that I'm still figuring them out. Really, I think an update's just an update. I have a few things to say, and then I'll ramble for a bit. One thing that I'm still struggling with, and maybe struggling is too strong of a word, I'm still curious about and I'm challenged by, is the reball. And last night, for the first time, I think I had an experience that I can clearly point to and say, yeah, you're on the right track. I haven't always been able to visualize the reball either from the inside or the outside. And I've spoken to people that kind of have 2 points of view on it. One is like you are at the middle of it, which I think we are. And so you can see everything coming down around you. One person flagged for me that like the way we visualize things, the way we conceptualize things is all different. And so being able to watch yourself create it from the external is also an option for some people. I can't confidently say I've had either experience. I've had the experience of feeling myself going up, feeling myself coming down. I've also had the experience of feeling myself going up and being able to picture or see my surroundings from a different vantage point. And then last night, for the first time, I actually had the feeling of the flow, the directional flow, and it was vibratory, and it was very like physical, almost like tactile. Like it's like I could touch it, I could feel it. And although I couldn't see anything, again, I had this knowingness of like, oh right, this is all around me. And last night also I had the experience of being able to rise up in it and expand it and sort of contract it a little bit and rise back, go back down. I also just saw on Reddit today or yesterday somebody posted a like reball for the win kind of post, so I'm gonna go read that and see what that's all about, because maybe there's some tidbits in there. Still really enjoying the community and being able to reach out to people and ask good questions, bad questions, smart questions, dumb questions, the same questions over and over again. But I'm also really enjoying finding better ways to trust myself, and to trust the guides and the everything that are helping me on this journey. And whatever that means, it means, and whatever it doesn't. But I really am finding a lot of solace in taking deep breaths and just going, okay, today is what it is, and this is what it is, and we are what we are, and I am what I am, and none of this is anything. Anyways, that's all I got. 19 minutes. That's a new personal best. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your gateway experience. Comments, put them in the thing below. want to strike up a conversation, please, please, please do. I would love to have somebody, multiple people that are somewhere on the journey, on the spectrum of where I am, that are having challenges, having excitements, want to share weird stories, want to tell them about a piece of paper that showed up out of nowhere. I'm here to hear it. Thanks a lot. Bye.